Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining my channel. As I said to you guys before that I was going to have a good friend of mine, and she's here, Miss Shannan Gibbs. I'm so happy she's here with me and decided to do this video, guys. So give her your undivided attention because she has a lot to say. I like to call her Shiro is what I call her, because this girl is more than amazing. I don't even know how to describe her or describe her. I'm saying subscribe. Look at that, because I want y'all to subscribe to my channel. That's what I want you to do. But I don't know how to describe her, because amazing just won't do. So without further ado, guys, we're going to get into this video. We're going to talk about Miss Shannan, and she's a good friend of mine. And Shannan, we've known each other almost 3 years. I think I've been working. We worked together. So I think.
When did you start? 2018.
Yeah.
So 3 years. Yep.
About 3 years. So Miss Shannan, tell us where you're from. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I am from East St. Louis, Illinois. So I'm a northern Midwestern girl with a touch of Southern in there somewhere.
Okay. She got a bit of an accent, y'all.
You'll hear a lot of ers and ers and ers. I'm the Nelly era, you know.
I love me some Nelly, girl. Yes. Who doesn't know?
I am one of 4 daughters from my mom.
You only have sisters.
I only have sisters. Yeah, so imagine that household, right? All attitudes and it's just everything.
Hormones everywhere.
Yes, yes, yes. And I actually I stayed there all my life, and I actually moved to Tallahassee 2005. It was actually a visit, and then I kind of just surveyed the, land, and was like, okay, I was trying to do something different and just trying to see, what I actually wanted to do. And then just decided, okay, this may be the place. It's not too fast. It's not too slow. Let me try it out. And I've been here, it's 2021, 2009.
So well, you're turning into a Florida girl now. So.
I am a Florida girl. And I'm a Florida girl. Even when I talk to my family members now, they're like, oh, you've been up there too long.
You've been up there too long.
Yeah. It's like you got this other accent now on top of the one you already got. Like we can't understand what you're saying.
That is so funny. So take me to the time when when you first found out about having breast cancer, like before you found out, like what was going on before you even found out? Did you even like have signs or symptoms, or did you go to your regular routine? Did you do self-checks? Like how did it all come about?
I had no symptoms. And, usually most women, they go to the doctor and the doctor is doing his check and he may feel something or she may feel something. And then they're like, okay, let's go get this looked at. I was actually in the shower because I try to keep up with health, everything, just to make sure everything's good. And I was in the shower and, I kind of felt on my left side. I felt under my arm, there was like this big, hard knot.
Was it more like a ball? It
was like a ball.
Like a ball.
Well, at that point, it was about a knot. It was like a knot. It was, when I went, they told me it was the size of a bottle cap. Because even when I found out, I just being candid, I'm just gonna be transparent here.
Yeah.
I jumped out the shower, like ran in the living room, was holding up my hands, my husband looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, can you feel this? Can you feel that? I said, because I just don't, I want a second feel because I don't want to think that I'm going crazy.
So let me ask you, it was so noticeable that you're in the shower. Now, when you normally take showers and you washing, you think you would have felt it before because it was just that noticeable. So today, so that morning or afternoon or whenever you took the shower, you kind of like, wait a minute, that ain't normally like there. Okay.
Exactly. And then he felt it, and then he felt the other side, and he was just like, yeah, it's something there. So it's Friday night, mind you. So I'm calling the doctor's office knowing they're closed, but I'm leaving messages like Monday morning, I need somebody to call me ASAP because I need to get in there. I'm sending them emails like, yeah, I left a voicemail. If y'all don't get the voicemail, I'm sending this email, like, because it's scary, right?
Yeah.
So they called me back on Monday morning, set the appointment for Tuesday. I went in. He felt in, because it was hard, but it was moving, he thought it was a cyst.
Okay.
So what he said was, usually when females, either the week before or the week after they're about to start their cycle, you always kind of get lumps in your chest.
Okay.
And I didn't know that. So he sent me for my mammogram and then ultrasound. So did the mammogram. That was my first time. And it hurt. And I'm not going to lie.
Can we just say how old are you at this point?
I'm 37 now.
And what year is this?
This is 2021. So I was 36 when I found out.
Okay, 36, okay.
Yes. Did the ultrasound, and during the ultrasound, the sonographer was like, oh, and that's something you never want to hear. So I, raised up and I said, oh, what's old? And she was just like, well, let's just finish this. She's trying to be, courteous, whatever. Let's just finish this and I'll let the doctor talk to you. So at that point, I'm like,
yeah, your mind's racing.
Yes. So after the doctor looked at everything, she came back and then they put me in another room. So she said, I think we're going to have to do a biopsy because this looks like it may be something. Okay. I said, okay. So at the time, it was the size of a bottle cap. So after that, they got me to a surgeon. They got me with the plastic surgeon. And then they got me with the oncologist. So it was like this team of doctors.
So that same day, you had to go over and go to get a biopsy. So when you were in the hospital, that the doctor, they went and got a biopsy. Now, did all those people run in that same day and was like, hey, let's
no, they didn't come in the same day. They came in probably, that was on a Tuesday. So they probably came in that Monday, the next Monday.
So all those days that you're waiting for this biopsy, what's going through your head? Did you notify your mom, like your family, your sisters?
I did. Just because I'm so far away from them, I wanted them to know what was going on. And, it's 12 hours from here to there. So I just wanted them to know what's going on. And we kind of communicate semi-often, but that was just something, not knowing what way it was going to go. I was just like, I need to tell them, and, I just need them to pray for me.
Right.
And then I need them to check themselves. So
Right.
So when they put together the doctors, and then when I kind of did my research and then I went and talked to my doctor, he was like, he made sure that I had the best group that he could put together. So I appreciated him for that. And that's Dr. Brickler, Tallahassee, North Florida Women's Care. And
you go, so let's, because I want everybody to get the true feel of what's going on. When you get back Monday and you get into that doctor's office, he sits you down, and what's the first thing? Like, he's like, hey, let's have a conversation. What's his face kind of like, what did your husband go with you? Did you go by yourself?
Well, COVID came about, so they weren't allowing anybody in, doctor's offices or anything. But I can't remember if he took me and waited outside, because that basically during the entire time, because of COVID and him not being allowed in any office, that's basically what he did, like each and every time.
My God, so, that's just, it's so crazy, because not only are we going through COVID, but then you find this out, you're waiting to go to the office, and then you can't have no support in there with you. And then you don't know what they're facing to say. You're hoping on a wing and a prayer that it's like, oh no, it's just a lump, nothing like that. It's okay. But you go in there and you sit down, and he comes in, and then what?
So when I got back to my doctor, he's just like, it's just like, it was almost like it hurt him, and he apologized to me because, like I said, he thought it was a cyst. So at that point, we both just kind of talked about the next steps. And that's how the group of doctors started, coming in. But at that point, I had to do a testing, which is the BRCA test, to find out if it ran in my family, either
It's
side.
a what test? Can you say
It's
it again?
it's a BRCA.
BRCA?
BRCA, BRACHA.
BRCA, okay.
So it's a genetic test. So what it does is they had to overnight it to me from California. I had to swap myself, put it back, and send it back off to them. It took about 2 to 3 weeks. Now, mind you, I found out about mid-May. I sent the test off maybe June, the beginning of June. I got it back maybe 3 weeks later. It probably was about 2 weeks, a week before the 4th of July. No, 2 weeks before 4th of July. It was 2 weeks. And it came back that there were no traits, that it was genetically on either side.
Thank
So
God.
not my father's side, not my mother's side.
Okay.
So at this point, now I'm questioning, okay, so and I know it doesn't run in my family because nobody's ever had it.
Right.
So now I'm questioning, okay, so if it doesn't run in the side, am I just that special kid or that special child that,
you chose me, what's up with that?
You chose me, right. So at that point, they were just saying, oh, it's environmental. It could be anything that you're breathing, you're eating, and I'm just like, well, goodness, well, if I don't know what I'm breathing in or I'm eating,
I'm breathing air.
I need to stop, I need to figure out what it is so I can stop all of it.
Tell me where the air is that I shouldn't be breathing. Let me go back over there where it's not at. Right. It's like running from COVID. Tell me where the COVID ain't at. Like,
right. So I'm just like extra nervous, scared. I went home almost, and we were working from home. So that was and some people listen to what I say and they understand exactly where I'm coming from. And then some people look at me crazy because I say it was a good thing that COVID happened. And this is just me. It was a good thing that COVID happened because I was at home.
Right.
And I didn't have to deal with going into the office with these tears in my eyes constantly.
And let me tell everybody, so you guys will know that she has such a high load at work because she is in management, she's in leadership. So she not only is working to do what she needs to do, she also manages and supervises a team. So could you imagine that after we're going through everything we're going through with COVID, and she's trying to get her team managed and get them home and do everything they need to do, she also has to deal with her own personal life issues. So I just wanted to put that out there so you can understand where she's coming from.
Yes. And I think that was another one of the hardest things, trying to tell them. I actually, we started working on communicating through Teams. So I kind of just got all them together and, it was a deep breath, but, I had to get it out. And it was just so many emotions. My group. So yes. Those ladies are so loving. And it hurt me to even tell them because I know how they are. And it was just like a tear fest.
Oh my gosh.
And if you know one of them, I'm not gonna say their name because I don't want to put them out there like that.
Yeah,
oh my goodness. Right. She is a prayer warrior. And she put those prayers out there. And I felt it. I'm just gonna say I felt it. But
let me ask you this too. When you were after you left the doctor and everything, and you went and you met back with your husband and everything, when you told him and now you're at home and you guys are walking around each other, you're in the house and you're obviously not sick, you're not feeling anything. This lump is just there. Like, okay, cancer is just in my body, but I'm not, I feel like Shannan. Like, tell me, what did that all feel like just coming home and being like, seriously, did you just say I had cancer? Like,
so with him, he's more, we're not going to claim anything until we know what it is, Yes. And I'm like, I get it. But now I've done the biopsy at this point, and let's just say after they did the biopsy is when I started to feel the pain because they start messing with it.
It start moving around maybe? I mean.
Well, you know, when they do the biopsy, they make the incision, then they use this little tool and they start cutting it. So I guess that aggravated it.
Yeah.
And now my left side is just throbbing. You know, at first I didn't feel anything, didn't even know it was there. Now I know it's there.
Now I know you here, yeah.
Yeah, and with him, it was really no words. I came home just crying. So at that point, I just laid my head on his chest and I was just in tears. And of course, him being a man, he has to stay strong from him. You know, he has to stay strong for me and him.
Right.
So that was hard.
That had to be, yeah.
And now you have all these thoughts going through your head, you know, what if this happens? What if that happens? And, you know, like, this is my husband. Like, I don't want to,
everything's running through your mind right now, because
yes.
Right now you're telling me something that I didn't expect. This came out of nowhere. My life is going on as normal. I'm just taking a shower. I find this so-called cyst, and I'm like, oh, it's just a cyst. It's okay. That's what I'm hoping. And then out of nowhere, I get the detrimental news of cancer. Like, wait, me? Hold on, wait a minute. No, you must got it twisted. Like, let's look at this again. Well, we'll take a biopsy, Ms. Gibbs. Let's just see that. And then the biopsy, like, no, yeah, it is. I feel fine. And then you got to go home, and it seems like, I remember when I lost my mom, I remember that it seemed like everything around me was not the same. The trees ain't look the same. Like I'm driving, you know, not driving, but I'm riding the car because I'm young. The environment, it was my normal environment, but it just wasn't the same. Coming home with my sisters wasn't the same. It's like your whole life, when you go through something traumatic, your vision, it changes. Like, you just don't see it the same anymore. And that's why I asked, like, you know, how was all that? So what type of cancer did they say it was? Once you got down to everything, what did they say?
Carcinoma situ. So it's not the most aggressive, but ductal carcinoma situ. So what it is it hadn't come outside of the milk gland yet.
So it's still in there?
Yes.
Did you caught it earlier? No.
I actually, stage 2.
Stage 2, okay. And it goes to how many stages?
4.
4. And when you in 4, that means you caught it way too late.
Yeah, stage 2 is borderline catching it too late.
Oh God, thank you, Jesus.
The good thing for me is with the stage 2 that I was at, it was almost like the beginning of stage 2 because it hadn't come out into all the tissues and everything, and it had not spread to my lymph nodes.
Okay.
So usually when it spreads to your lymph nodes, that it kind of gets more intense then, because now they have to take out these lymph nodes when they do the surgery to find out if it had spread to the lymph nodes.
Right.
So that was kind of like the hard part. So when I got the BRCA back and they found out it was environmental, they scheduled my surgery for July 7th.
So you say surgery. Now so when you found out all of this, were they just gonna take that lump out, or were they saying, okay, we can't just take it, we need to take the whole breast, we need to do a mastectomy?
Okay, so they gave me the option. I could either do a lumpectomy, which was just that, take the lump out of that particular breast, which is my left one, or I could do a double mastectomy. A mastectomy, which is take off the whole breast, or a double mastectomy where they take off both breasts. So that was another hard decision, because it's just like, you know, I don't want them to take out the lump, leave the breast, and then it can come back. Then I don't want them to take out one breast, then have my other breast, and then it comes in that breast.
And did you talk to it with your sisters and your mom? Like, did you say, okay, but I want to make this decision. Let me talk to my husband, let me talk to family before I just say what I'm gonna do? Or were you like, no, I know what I want to do?
Oh no, I had conversations with my mom, his mom, him, sisters, because at the time, those were the only people that actually knew. And, you know, every day it was just like, well, do you know what you're going to do yet? Because like from the time finding out, they were trying to get in so it wouldn't spread.
Yes.
So I had about a week and a half to figure this out. So I'm going back and forth and I'm talking to him and I'm like, babe, what do you think? And he's just like, whatever you want to do, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you feel like is best for you. So at first I was like, okay, I'm just going to do a lumpectomy, just have him to take it out. And that's what I was telling doctors all the way up until maybe 2 days before. And then at that point.
So wait a minute, 2 days before, so you knew like, okay, you know what, just a lumpectomy. Did you have a dream or something 2 days before? I'm like, you know what, no, just, I want it all off.
It was almost like a fast and a real strong prayer. Just please give me, just give me something of what I need to do, what I should do, what's best for me, and what's going to help me not worry so much after.
Right.
So with the lump, like I said, they take the lump out, but now I'm risking it coming back. If I take one breast off, then I have to just worry about the other breast and it coming in that one. So I think more of it for me was fear. Because I could have just said in the beginning, I just want both of them all, but it was just fear because, you're losing a part of yourself. I've had these things like forever. I had these all my these are my babies, So it was just like 2 days before. And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to do both because I don't want that worry in my head where I'm constantly trying to figure out or worrying like it's going to come back, because now it's just like, if I know it's environmental, it's not hereditary, I don't know where it's coming from. Right. So I ended up doing a double mastectomy. And like I told you, when I first found out, they said it was the size of a bottle cap, right? So mind you, this is a bottle cap.
That's a bottle cap.
I don't even have my husband's golf balls. He probably has them in the car. But by the time they did the surgery a month later, after me finding out.
This is in May. You found this out in May.
Now, mid-May, July 7th is surgery day, right?
To do a mastectomy.
Surgery.
July 7th was
July 7th.
Okay.
Double mastectomy. When they went in to take it out, now it's the size of a golf ball.
Oh my gosh.
So it was invasive. It was
growing rapidly.
Yes. And, not knowing inside of me, this is what's happening. So I'm just thinking, okay, they're going to go take this little thing out. No. Golf ball at that point. So when they told me after the fact, like after I came to and everything, which was like another hard part because after surgery, my husband can't come to the hospital, but I'll tell you about that part.
I know. So the crazy thing is guys, and I want you to see this, she's still going through COVID while she's dealing with all of this. I mean, COVID is still out here. It's a possible chance she could have got COVID and that'd have been something else she could have been dealing with. Then the fact that I'm trying to make a decision, should I have a lumpectomy, one breast removal, or double mastectomy? She has all these things that she's going through and processing, and then she has a support group of her family, and her husband is still dealing with it, let alone has his own emotions about it because he's in the house with her every day, so hats off to her husband, kudos to him as well, because, she needs the support, and then he can't be in there with her. So now we're at the point you're getting ready to have surgery. Tell me what it's like the day of surgery when you're getting ready to be rolled back there. What is going through your mind?
So even before surgery, maybe like 3 days before, no. So I had my surgery on that Tuesday. So the Thursday before, they had to do, I had to do a COVID test. So because of COVID just kind of took over the world, but before they did surgery, they wanted to make sure that I did not have COVID. So I had to actually take the COVID test, make sure that came back negative before they would even have surgery, even though they had a schedule. Came back negative, and then that morning, they scheduled me. I can't even remember what time it was. It was early, 4 or 5 in the morning, but they didn't do surgery until about 9. Just came in prepped, and all of like the surgeon came in, the plastic surgeon came in. because at that time I did not know what I wanted to do as far as plastic surgery, but he had to be a part of the surgery, while they were there. Then oncology came in. They came in individually, and they just wanted to talk to me and let me know what their part in the surgery was going to be. So that pretty much was that. Got hooked up IVs and everything, and they always put you in this cold room and say, when they put the oxygen mask and everything on, they, you're gonna count to 20 and then you're out.
You
And
probably was out by 5.
Probably so. And that's exactly what happened. So when I woke up, and the good thing about them is that they did text him throughout the surgery to let him know what was going on. And then after surgery, everything was good. And once she wakes up, we'll let her know we contacted you. So he was okay with that, but he wasn't okay, because if anybody knows him, he wants to be there.
Of course, right?
And once I woke up and everything, they were saying that he couldn't come in. And I'm like, oh, no.
I need my husband.
This is not going to happen. So the nurse was just like, the head nurse, charge nurse wasn't available. So I was like, well, I'll just wait on her, because I said, my husband's going to come in here. And they're like, well, we haven't been allowing anybody. I said, my husband's going to come in here. I said,
what
I don't
I'm
care.
telling you is you might not be allowing. I just went through all this. I need my husband, lady, because I will get up out of this bed.
You don't understand. I said, I want to talk to the charge nurse. And if you can't talk to the charge nurse, I said, please give me the surgeon on the phone. I will talk to him, because I want my husband in this room. They got the charge nurse. Charge nurse came in there. Charge nurse called my surgeon, got the surgeon on the phone, and the surgeon was just like, go ahead, call him, let him know that he can come in, but once he comes in, he can't go back out.
Right.
So I called him and I told him, get all your stuff.
All of it.
Everything,
whatever you need.
And he was just like, they're not gonna let me. I said, I already worked it out. He said, please don't say you was in there acting crazy.
I had to show out and let them know where I was from. Listen, cancer can't do nothing with me. I need my husband.
Okay, and they let him in, and for me, I needed that, because you're in there by yourself, and that's why I feel for like these COVID patients, because they're in there by themselves. And it just, I understand what they're doing and what they're trying to say and why they can't, but we need people when you're in there and you're feeling like that and you're going through things like that. You just need somebody.
Definitely. So tell me, once you went through that and you get home, you're getting ready for recovery and just getting dressed and being in the shower now, and then I want you to tell me about treatment, if you had to do chemo treatments in your hair, and when you get to that point, this girl, I'm gonna tell you this, she's beautiful anyway, and I know hair does not make us, because we can have all types of hair, as beautiful Black queens, we do that, we change up our hair all the time, but she had some beautiful long. She's one of those girls that like the way that wrap. Her and another one that I like to pick on. They got that beautiful natural hair. They like to wear them wraps, and and I want you to talk about that, because sometimes that as women, it makes us feel great. And I just want you to talk about how your image changed, so to speak, after all of this.
So when I first went home, and like you said, kudos and heads off to my husband.
Yes.
Like people, I didn't I guess my mind wasn't there, where I did not realize it first, but just, going, like, letting time pass by and just thinking about it and looking at him and the things that I was going through and things that I couldn't do. And he was there to help me through and do. Okay, so I'm not gonna get emotional, but that I owe him. I owe him, like I do. But going home, I still had tubes in me. I had to keep in for, I think it was like 2 weeks, the drain tubes, because they wanted to make sure there wasn't any fluid around the areas. So every day I had to have him to help me drain those. empty those. I needed help to the restroom. I needed help to the shower, and I couldn't move my arm. So just imagine what that's like.
Yeah.
I needed help in the bed, out the bed, and that was pretty much the only motion that I had was getting up and down to go to the restroom and trying to get comfortable in the bed. I had a little back support that I could use to sit up. In the beginning, I couldn't feed myself because I couldn't move my arm, I couldn't move my arms. So I couldn't like get myself dressed. I even attempted to reach for something one day and just dropped it because like my muscles in my hands just weren't there yet. And I cried.
Oh.
And yeah, it was, I'm so used to being independent, doing stuff for myself. So,
and I want to stop here to
there.
mention that we don't give caregivers enough credit, guys,
Credit.
because a caregiver is the one that's taking a lot of pressure. The person that they're caring for is dealing with it, but the caregiver feels it as well. And so for those of you who are caregivers, hats off to all of you that are really, putting your heart and soul into the person that you're caring for, because you can see that they're dealing with it, but you also feel the effects of it as well. So hats off to you guys.
And then hats off to his mom.
Okay. Thank you, mother-in-law.
She came to, give him a little break. She's a little bit closer than my mom. And then my mom has underlying conditions where she couldn't travel during COVID. So, that was another thing. But his mom has since I've met him and her, she's been heaven sent to me. She came to assist him and just kind of give him a break. And
the support system is very important. You need a support system.
Absolutely. And I definitely appreciate her for everything that she does and did. Then I have a cousin back home who actually came for a week and assisted him and gave him a break too after his mom left. So, we tried to work together and, do what we could, but it was rough. It was a lot. It was a lot. And
tell me about treatment. What happened after you start to heal? What kind of treatment did you have to take?
So initially, I wasn't supposed to do any type of radiation or chemo, right? So it wasn't until my last oncology appointment, he had me in tears in his office because he was just like, Shannan, I know we discussed this and this is what our plan was, but, when you hear that but, you're like,
I done heard enough buts, people, come on.
And he's like, because of your age and then not being hereditary running in your family, we think we want to go ahead and put you through chemo. So I'm like, these 6 weeks, I've been like just ready to be done with this. Cause from the time that you get off the surgery table and you open your eyes, you're in remission.
Okay.
So
and remission is when the cancer is gone.
Gone.
Okay.
Completely removed. So in my mind, that's what it is. I'm good. I'm
done with this.
Notes.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Right.
6 weeks, I'm back to work and
back to myself. Yeah.
Back to myself. So he tells me this. My husband's outside in the car. I'm breaking down crying. So he's like, did your husband bring you? And I'm like, yes. I said, he's outside. He's not allowed in the building again. But the doctor went out to get him and for him to come in with me. And I appreciate Dr. James for that, So
thank you, Dr. James.
So it was rough, but I appreciate the fact that he understood the emotions that were coming and going out, and that I needed my husband. So that was, like I said, that was rough. I had to go back the following week for another small surgery, which is I had to get a port implanted. Mm-hmm. I could have either done the chemo intravenously, which goes through the veins, and they said that I was going to be doing the Red Devil, which is like the worst chemo treatment ever. It's the strongest. And it burns your veins. Or I could get the port and they just, hook it up and then it just goes through the strings that way. So I opted for the port, of course. You don't want anything, burning your veins or anything. So it was the easiest way, I would say, because every time I went, they would just put the needle in and everything just goes through that. That's how I do my blood work still. That's how I did my blood work. That's how my chemo went through. And chemo was rough. That first week after my first treatment, because I only did it one day for 4 hours.
Okay.
So even after that one day, 4 hours, that following week, the only thing I had left on my head was a patch of hair.
Oh my gosh. And did
That's
it
how
come
strong it
out a
was.
few days after, or did it come out like a week or 2 weeks after it started falling out? How quickly?
Probably maybe 2 or 3 days later, it just started kind of like, you start, like every time I did like this, and like you said, my hair, every time I did like this, just like scratching my hair or something, it was just like a ball came out.
Goodness, girl.
So at this point, it's just like, oh, okay.
Keep it together. We had surgery. We had a mastectomy. We got this. We got a port. It's just hair. Hair goes back. You trying to motivate yourself, right?
Trying, right? And like I said, by this time, only thing left is a patch of hair right here. Maybe a little bit right here. And I wanted to just go to like a barbershop and get it cut, but then my husband was like, no, I'm going to do it. So that moment.
Oh, girl.
That moment. Yeah. So that's what we did. And then like I kept going through my treatments. Like I said, it was one day a week on Thursdays for at least 3 or 4 hours. And then with one of them, I had to have a iron transfusion because my iron had got really, really low. And
could you still eat? How was eating? Did you throw up? How did you feel? Headaches or?
Luckily, I took every recommendation that I read online and even the recommendations that my doctor gave before treatment. I started the night before treatment with taking the not hormones. What is it? I can't even think of it right now.
It's okay. It's like vitamins or something like
no, it's almost like a cortisone shot, the steroids.
Steroid, okay.
So yeah, steroids. So I started the night before taking the steroids, and then I had to take them in the morning. And then the night before, I ended up taking what was it? Benadryl.
Okay.
So what that was supposed to do was just help with the pain and the vomiting and stomach aches and stuff like that. So I kind of followed what they were telling me to do, and it worked for some people, it doesn't work for some people, but for me, doing the entire time, because I had a 4.5 month stint with the chemo, I did not get sick.
Thank God.
Which was, thank God. I had an easy chemo transition. The only thing that happened was it took all of my energy. That was the only thing that I can truly say that I really experienced. And I did experience like a couple stomach aches or whatever, because most people don't know, because I didn't know. When you start going through chemo, it reverses you back to like when you're a baby. Like you don't have control of anything over your body anymore. And then it dries your skin out. So I had to go buy all this
Oils and lotion, all that.
CeraVe and, you know, all this other
Yeah.
stuff. And then you can't use chemicals. So now I'm using baby
Free stuff like, yeah,
shampoo, baby lotion, and, you know, or just baby body wash and, you know, all this stuff. So then I had to go get like Sensodyne and all this special toothpaste, and it's just so much stuff that you just don't know that you can't use regular deodorant because it can't have the chemicals in it, and like paraben, sulfur, and all this other stuff. So it was just a lot. And then when it came to food, I'm still getting there now because everything hasn't come back.
the taste goes. Is that what you're saying? The taste goes? Okay.
Yes. Taste completely went. In the beginning, it was just like, okay, the first week, I was still able to taste apple juice. So Publix is my favorite store now. You know, Publix always has their buy one, get one free. So I'm like, oh, I can taste apple juice. And they had just did their buy one, get one free. So I went and bought all this apple juice. And then the first week was good. I was drinking the apple juice. That was like the only thing I could actually taste. Then the next week, I couldn't taste it anymore. So it switched from like apple juice, and now I can only really taste a pineapple. So every week it was something different.
Right, right.
And then it was just
now, did you end up losing a lot of weight, or did the steroids make you gain weight?
It made me gain.
Okay. Because everybody's
so I did not lose any weight. I didn't gain too much weight either. Right. So I kind of, it was kind of like a balance, which I'm grateful for that.
Right.
Grateful for that too. But you could see it all. It was all in my face. It was really all in my face and my stomach. I got still trying to get over that. A chemo belly. Where the
so you get a chemo belly from having chemo. Okay.
Yes. So it just kind of like it bloats you, and it makes your stomach kind of like puffy and sits a little higher on top. So,
and I want to tell you guys this too, really quick, that while she was going through this girl still worked. I mean, she had her times when she was off, but when she did, like, I think she was ending chemo or going through chemo, she would be in our staff meetings via Teams or via Zoom, and we would see her. And for me, I didn't know, because it wasn't something that was announced until she was ready to announce it. And so I think when I received when I called you and you received a call from me, I was a little bit, and I know you kind of was like, okay, everybody kind of just finding out. And I was a little more trying not to get emotional, but I was so emotional in the background and trying to hold it in so you didn't know. But just your strength is what got me. Like, this girl is like, you are definitely a hero. Like, you inspire me, like, you know, just even if it's not cancer, and that's what I want to let you guys know, even if you don't have a cancer diagnosis, it could be anything that you're dealing with that seems so detrimental, or it seems like it's just the final end, like it's done. I hope her story is letting you guys know that you can get through it. You can get through it. You need good people in your life, and that's why it's so important to have the right people in your life. But she came to these meetings, she came with a scarf on, and when I would see her, and I'm just like, look at this girl. This girl was somebody that I went to leadership courses with. I went to classes with this long, beautiful hair, and she's beautiful anyway, but, you know, such a sweet spirit, and we laugh, we joke, you know, we had classes together. And then to see her still in our staff meetings, even if she had a scarf around her head, she still showed up. And you can tell there were some days you were weak. I could see that. But I was just be like praying for you, and I try to send you emails every now and again, or text just to let you know, hey, I'm here. I try to send you a scripture, you know, just to let you know, keep it up, you got this, and look at you now. And I know it's about time for us to go. So the last thing that I want you to kind of touch on is, can you just let others know kind of like what they can do to just keep their strength up? You know, what's one thing that you gained from this past year of this diagnosis and healing? Like, you know, how you feel at this very moment in your journey? Like, what do you want to say to people and to your support system and just everybody, you know, about everything you've been through?
The one thing that I did gain, I could say, through this entire time dealing with the breast cancer and trying to deal with COVID and making sure that I protect myself and not catch it and just still stay healthy and just keep thriving and moving. I gained a lot of perspective. during this time, I actually, you have to sit back and you have to just think, and you're at home 24/7. So you have no other choice but to get into your thoughts. Um, Perspective came, you only have one life, you have to live it, you have to be careful more than ever now, but don't stop being you. Like you said, I was working, I was getting fussed at by my staff, I was getting fussed at by, like my husband, my mom, everybody, but you have to find something that you like and you love. And, sometimes that's what keeps you pushing. And for me, I can honestly say I'm a true Capricorn. Um,
I'm a Leo.
it was work, work. Um, and not saying that because I definitely had support from customer operations. Like I definitely had help. Like, oh my goodness. You guys are the best. I can just say that. Like once everybody found out, because I was a little, don't want to really say anything because I'm still not emotionally or mentally there yet. And I just don't want to have to deal with it. But once I was able to come out and say, hey, this is what it is, I started getting the outpour of love and support, and I appreciate it dearly. But the one thing that I would say is stay true to you. Do not let it take over you mentally. If you can find something that you can channel your energy into during that time, do it. Like I feel like I found a calling. I found a hobby. I've started a side business. Just to keep myself busy, but that's where my energy goes to, where I don't keep going back to the thoughts of
you're not your diagnosis. You're not your diagnosis.
Like, yeah, you having cancer, and now I feel like a part of me is gone, and sometimes I do have those thoughts, but it's just something to keep you going, keep you motivated. Like that wasn't the end of you. Like you're still here. He kept you here for a reason. So find out what your reason is.
What's your reason? Yes, right. That's right.
And don't ignore what he sends to you or he tells you. Like you listen to him, talk to him. And that was one thing too, I can say I did get clear with faith. And I really, really did. It was just a lot of praying. And not saying I didn't pray before, but if doing this, I prayed a little bit harder than I've ever prayed before. I got a lot of clarity on a whole lot of things. A lot of things has transpired in between that too. But if anybody knows me, knows that my heart is just like the hugest and the biggest thing in the world. I would give the person the shirt off my back or my last few dollars. Like I would do it because I know, I'll get it back tenfold and then I could give it to somebody else, but just knowing that I'm still here. When you look at the statistics and you look at, just other stories, and they were not as blessed. They were not as lucky. They didn't make it. I've gotten a little bit closer with my family, the ones that, I hardly ever talk to. But, and now, right now, it's more so making sure everybody knows that if it happened to me at a young age, it can happen to anybody. Wasn't expecting it, of course, but pay attention to yourself. Your health is your wealth. Your health is your life. You have to be proactive. And like I said, I found my own. Most people go to the doctors and the doctors find it.
Right.
And some people don't go to the doctors. So
go to the
check
doctor.
Yourself. Yeah. If you don't have insurance, check. If you don't have insurance, at least try to figure it out how you can get it, because you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself.
I totally agree.
If it's not cancer, it's if it's not cancer, it's something else.
It could be something else. I totally agree with that. I want to thank you so much for having this time with me. I feel like you are a shero. You're my shero. And I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for your inspiration and your motivation. I'm grateful that you're still here. I'm grateful that no matter what, you still showed up and you showed us that cancer is just a diagnosis that came to me, but I kick cancer in the butt and let it know you won't get me down. That no, I think after this, no matter what you go through, you can look it in the mirror and say, we'll get through this. I'm grateful for your support team. I'm glad you have your husband and amazing people in your life. I want to tell anybody that's dealing with anything that you can get through it. You can get through it. You just need to find your foundation and stand firm and know that all things are possible. You just can't give up. Before we end, Shannan, tell them where they can find your business and where we can come and support you.
Okay, so I am Instagram, but it is PurpleIdolKreationz with a Z. I am Etsy, it's PurpleIdolKreationz as well. And then my email is PurpleIdolLLC@gmail.com.
And what do you do at Purple Idols? Like, what kind of things can we find on Purple Idols?
Oh goodness. So like I said, I channel my energy through that. So I actually create and do a lot of monograms, and I do a lot of personalization. I do gift bags, gift boxes, baby baskets. I just recently did a birthday basket for one of my teammates. Whatever it is, t-shirts, mugs, glasses, I did a whole birthday weekend survival kit for my sister-in-law just recently. It was so beautiful. So just anything personalization. I just did some family homecoming baby items for a friend of mine for homecoming next week. But whatever it is, you just give me the idea and the goal of what you're looking for, and we'll
we
make it
can
work.
Support you. So listen, I'm going to put her link to her description below, guys, and so that we can follow her after this video. Again, I want to thank you for joining us in the room today. You guys know I'm all for motivation and inspiration, and you better subscribe to my channel so you can get more of this. I hope you share this video so you can inspire someone who may be going through cancer and make sure they're aware. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and we wanted to do this video just to let you know that nothing's too hard and nothing's too impossible, and you can make it through. Thank you, girl, for today. I'll see you soon, okay?
All right. Love you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.